Now let's go back to the legal aspects of all of this. And there are quite a few among them. Is it legal for the president to use his power to go after a political opponent? And could it be seen as an attempt to derail an investigation into his own conduct? Joining me now, criminal defense attorney David Bruno is here. So part of this stems from the Obama administration. You know, they said that they didn't spy on anyone. There was no wiretapping. There was no untoward surveillance, no warrantless searches of any kind during the presidential campaign. Are we learning a different answer to some of those questions we've had ongoing?
Well, I don't think so, because the use of an informant or a cooperating witness is different than a wiretap.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it is a common legal law enforcement technique used throughout the country in the federal and the state government. So we knew that there was an investigation into George Papadopoulos. It started in July of 2016 based on the statements made to the Australian diplomat.
Months earlier, when George Papadopoulos was supposedly drunk in a bar.
Right.
It's very difficult to believe that this whole thing springs from someone going, blah, Hillary Clinton, blah.
I don't disagree.
But apparently that's where we are.
That is what we've been told, that the investigation starts. So there's a federal investigation at the time.
Forgive me for being skeptical.
No,
and dubious
I hear you.
All of those claims.
I'm with you.
Yes.
However, when the feds, the FBI, the DEA, any of those agencies have an active investigation, they can use an informant, cooperating witness. They don't need a warrant. They don't need a wiretap. That could happen. However, it can't be for political reasons.
How do you make the distinction, though?
That's a good point. You start putting people under oath. You start questioning Mr. Brennan. You start questioning the leaders that made that decision, because I'll tell you what, it was a small group that knew of that investigation at the time, and it had to be all the way up top that made the decision to actually put an informant or cooperating witness into the Trump campaign.
Has John Brennan perjured himself in some of his past congressional testimony?
I do not know. I can't tell you. I don't know the testimony that well. I'll tell you, perjury is a tough crime to prove. Has to be a clear lie. The question has to be on point. The lie has to be false. Very tough case to prove as a prosecutor, perjury case.
All right. Well, if you could go to prison for being annoying, John Brennan would have been locked up a long time ago. But that's neither here nor there, because this is obviously very confusing, and it's another layer that goes on, and we tend to forget about some of the lower early layers, and then we're reminded of how these investigations started. And you know, my question right now is, and I'm very curious about this, where is Jeff Sessions, and is he recused from life?
There you go. All right, so we have the Inspector General investigations. He's got a lot on his plate. Hillary Clinton investigation, right? We had the McCabe report that came out. The Hillary Clinton report's coming out shortly. So
far, of all these people, Michael Horowitz, who is the DOJ Inspector General, he seems to be the most organized, doing the best job.
He's got the FISA application stuff on his desk, and now he's got this new one. Sessions, let's get to that point, okay? When Congress has been banging the drum about special counsel, another one, how about let's appoint another special counsel? What he's done is he has actually appointed the investigation to the Utah Attorney General. No one's really talking about that.
Yes, but that's not a special counsel. That's like a precursor to a special counsel.
It's not. That's what he said in two letters. It was a November 2017 letter and a March 2018 letter saying, I won't appoint special counsel. However, I want to get it out of Washington. I want to send it to Utah. He does have a criminal investigation. If this is something he's sending to the IG, which they've already announced, send this to him as well.
Yeah.
But Congress should not stop banging the special counsel drum. At some point, you know, when is enough is enough? Because the DOJ is investigating themselves right now.
Enough is enough right now, because I have to move on. Sadly, David Bruno, please grace me again with your legal expertise. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Very good.